Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and today we are going to look at the Sublety tier sets thoughts about from the guide writers from WoWhead and also my own thoughts, of course. This is going to be only about Sublety. I did do the Outlaw 1 assassination in another video. I'm of course going to put it as a card somewhere on up there if you really care about those. Those are very superficial. I'm not that knowledgeable about those specs. I do play them sometimes, but not as much as the guide writers, as you might expect. And I do have this sheet that I use for Sublety that I also make the guides from and everything. Kind of will be updated if there are any API changes or things, but for now it does not seem to be the case. Now let's go into the Sublety Rogue Season 3 tier sets. We are going to begin with the ugly. It's called the Deathstalker tier set. For some reason it's weaker than the Assassination one. Why? Because maybe because they already buffed the damage things for Sublety way back, and then they think, oh, only 30% is fine. It's not. It's very bad. And then the second one, same thing, to increase second duration and pops one the Stalker's Mark. This is, let's say, kind of bugged because it doesn't pandemic correctly. As you know, normal symbols of death without any inevitability procs, it's 10 seconds, and then you can pandemic it at 3 seconds. Now this should make it pandemic at like 4 point something, but if you do it like that, doesn't work. Why? I don't know. They will fix it, likely, or not. Now the 2 seconds bonus, very straightforward. While you have this bonus, you will get increased damage on the Deathstalker damage things. Now Deathstalker damage things are hand them down, create the witnesses. In assassination, it does work with a singular focus, so it's like that. It also works for us. Corrupt the blood, fatal intent, and the extra damage from Darkest Night. The momentum of the spare thingies and other places, it's like that it also works on it, but not that powerful. Now, as for reaching our talents, as you know, our talents are a little bit of a mess. We don't really change them, let's say. There are some talents that are a little bit, let's say, different, like going into Dark Brew, but you have to go into Puncture Veins, and then you don't have inevitability or other places, and we don't really change much. The only thing that we change is Rotten with another point in finality. Maybe we do use 2 points in finality and then go into other places, but that is for the future. It still haven't been synced. Now the 4 bonus, it's very annoying, as you can see here. You are going to use your symbols of death late into the second symbols of dance, making it hard to line strong cooldowns with it, because remember, you want to supercharge your secret technique, but if you have to use it way later, because otherwise you lose uptime, annoying. And removing 1 stack of Deathstalker's Mark can be hard to play around. Remember, right now as Deathstalker, ideally you enter dance with 1 Deathstalker's Mark, so you use secret technique and then you pop it your Darkest Night on the next finisher, and both of those are going to be increased by Supercharger. Supercharger, of course, giving us extra power on those. Now you would want to begin with 2 Deathstalker's Mark. So you use Deathstalker Mark and then you pop 1. Secret technique, you get Darkest Night, and then you get that other one. Now in between dances, it's even more annoying because remember that we as Deathstalker do have to use some blank symbols of death, and in those, actually you could use it as kind of an energy empowerment, get a Darkest Night, because remember we do have some problems with popping Darkest Night sometimes in single target while it's a filler time. And now let's see, its majority of the power is in the 2 set bonus, and then the 4 set, it's very minor. And changing talents, some competitive, but the numbers do seem quite low. If you see the numbers from Trickster, you are going to think, oh wow, they tend to drop the ball. They may change this. Of course, this has first thoughts. This is the first weeks of the PTR until like August. We're going to see many iterations of this. And then this is potentially numerically fine. Well, they buff it, or maybe they nerf the Trickster one. Who knows? We do get more damage on our cooldowns, but it doesn't improve the weaknesses, and it's not like it makes the strengths very stronger. And also, it's quite boring increasing a lot of like passive damage things, like woohoo, calm them down, stronger. It's cool that it works with singular focus, but it's not super strong. Now, here we are surprised that it's slower than assassination, but we still don't know if it's going to be stronger and other places. Now let's go now for the tier set that, if nothing changes, is likely the one that we will play. It is a bit annoying and has some things that maybe could be changed more from the 2 set than the 4 set. The 4 set standalone is kind of cool, but the 2 set, it's annoying because of the many mechanics that are already a problem with the spec itself. So now each unseen blade does more damage and has 30% chance to refresh its cooldown immediately. This is important because, as you know from disorienting strikes, you get 2 unseen blades every time you use Secret Technique. There's a kind of a bug where you can use this before pull and then you keep those, so you have 3 unseen blades, the one on pull, and then 2 from Secret Technique that are ready to be used, and every single one of these 3 can get these resets, apart from the normal reset that you get from 1000 cuts. So you have those 3 that can get resets, and then you have the other one when you begin the first dance and you use the Secret Technique that gives you other 2. So you have 5 unseen blades on pull if you do everything right. If you don't use the bug, you have at least 3 of those, and with those 3 and 1 reset, that is likely that you will get your coup de grace in the first dance, and then get likely another in the second dance or your opener. Now, what is annoying about this is there are no internal cooldowns on Unseen Blade. You can get a lot of procs, and you, of course, you get more flawless form uptime. You also keep that cool faced buff on your target that makes it so they can't parry. Don't tell anyone, okay? It works for you and everyone. As of now, of course, they can fix it anytime they want. And you will use more coup de grâces, making it so that the 4 set is stronger, because now you can use a coup de grâce and then another one. Now, the 4 set, it's simple but strong. You can use this coup de grâce as long as the 6-second timer does not run out. It does say 5 seconds, but it begins after you have finished coup de grâce. So if you don't know, it lasts 1.2 seconds, and you do like 3 slashes. Every of these 3 slashes can also proc Shadowcraft, so that's why it's a bit annoying also sometimes. But main optimizations will be with Secret Technique and Coup de Grace resets, and likely with Shadowcraft procs, and also kind of banking on combo points. That may be or may not be a thing because the strong power of Unseen Blades. Because right now what we do is sometimes we use a stay 20 seconds without using absolutely anything. We just get full combo points and get ready to flagellation, rupture, and then go into our cooldowns. With a coup de grace ready, so we would Secret Technique and then plug Shadowcraft and then coup de grace. And then here's the problem. While you have these escalating blades, 4 escalating blades make coup de grace available, you can't get more escalating blades. So every time you proc coup de grace and then you use a builder that is backstab or shadow strike, one of our main builders in single target, you are losing at least 1 of those procs. Across a 5-minute fight, it can be a lot of them. Maybe we use Sugarcane Storm, or maybe we talent Gormal to get across this and not lose these procs. But it's still not yet seen what we would use. Now, outside of cooldowns, as my boy Fu has said, we have Shadow Blades, and Coup de Grace can be harder to play around. We may still do the thing about using filler symbols of death, house out everything, and maybe what we do is we just bank some Shadow Techniques procs, and then use symbols with Coup de Grace, and you will use Coup de Grace, then you backstab once, and then you Coup de Grace again. And then you can use Secret Technique, or use Secret Technique before, and maybe use Storm instead of backstab, and then you have the 2 Unseen Blades afterwards to go into another Coup de Grace faster. This, of course, make it a bit annoying because ideally people really want to dance 2 times in between cooldowns, but everything goes against that with this. Now, if they buff Deepening Shadows, that will change, but we don't know. Right now, we are still likely going to use some blank uses of Symbols of Death, like I told you, and maybe bank less or more combo points, or we just do something funny that I did try in the PTR. But as you know, empirical research is not always the thing. The best thing to do is sim most of the time and just change APL. But I'm going to be trying a lot of things as this weekend and the next to try and find wins in the APL. Maybe you get to full combo points and then you just keep backstabbing at full combo points to proc Unseen Blades and get escalating and flawless forms. Because if you backstab at full combo points, you don't lose your Shadow Technique points. So that is a thing that may happen. Now, of course, early estimate, we are going to have around 18% DPS increase from this tier set. And of course, now we have this problem with Unseen Blade and Thousand Cut, blah blah blah. You are going to lose Unseen Blade procs if you are not using your builders, because you don't know you have procced it, and maybe you just want to sit on combo points or something like that. And Deepening Shadows still doesn't let us dance as much as we want. Now, think like everything, there's a little bit of power from Trickster. Trickster is like the prime hero talent right now for sub, unless they buff Deathstalker a lot. They did do that in Season 1, and we played it on single target, but not anymore. We have Nimble Flurry, allowing us to get passive clip, and you have a lot of cooldown reduction and burst damage. Coup de Grace does quite a bit of damage in those 3 hits that it does. Helps quite a bit that it has 5 extra combo points just knocked into it. So you have a 10 combo point finisher with more than 10 actually, with the 15 seconds, 15 combo points that you can get from that on your burst. Quite powerful. We made triple dance on pool and then on cooldowns. Maybe cool to have those 24 seconds, 888 on dances with flagellation. Not 100% sure. Now, as it stands right now, we are going to play Trickster quite likely. Early Sims doesn't say anything about changing things on the play things, but that's also because the resets themselves are very, very random. So you can do like we had in Dragonflight, where you could gamble, gamble. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose with our Shadow Rupture. So here, maybe we can just gamble with procs and sometimes lose, sometimes win. I'm kind of curious because there was some talks about changing the tool set to something else. Maybe they do change to something more cool, or maybe they change it to something even more annoying, or they do something like now on Simblades deals 30% increased damage, has 30% chance to refresh, or maybe they do 15-15, and now you have 2 extra escalating blades, or maybe 3. I will put 3 actually. Max escalating blades, so you can get to 5 or 6 or maybe even 7. Sometimes you have to do in between if you didn't really bank those Shadow Techniques procs into your coup de grace. Now that is everything. It didn't being quite long, as you might expect. More knowledge does breed more thoughts and more other things. I kind of rambled a bit, but I'm kind of happy how we got around it. And of course, just close your eyes and don't look at the other classes tier sets because they are just way better. So that's it. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next video.